Let's get back to it.
Had complete control over me. You strangled me over and over again and told me, don't pass out. If you pass out, I'll cut your throat. All that time, all I could think about was my son and that I would never see him again. In fact, you promised me that I would never see him again and that I would never make it out of this alive. You held me under the constant threat of death by holding a knife to my throat. What happened to me over the course of those 4 days has changed me forever, not only mentally, but physically. Because of you, I have a traumatic brain injury that I will forever suffer the effects of. Because of you, I battle anxiety and PTSD, night terrors. Even in my sleep, I get no rest. It is an effort just to go outside, constantly fearing that this will happen to me again. But know that I will continue to live my life. You no longer have power over me, and I am the one in control. After this day, you will go to prison, and I will go back to my son, my family, and those who love me. I will continue to grow and live and heal despite what you've done. Your Honor, he has done these horrendous things before, and he will do it again. I don't ever want him to have the opportunity to hurt another person. He needs to go to prison for as long as possible. 25 years is not enough. He will still be a strong man in 25 years and still capable of hurting another. No time will ever be enough, but Your Honor, I have faith that you will hear my story and the state's argument and make the right decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, at this time, I believe Floyd's mom is going to take the stand.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to need you to state your, first of all, make sure that that light is blue there.
No worries. Hi, my name is Jessie Barham. I'm Chloe Jones's mom.
All right, can you spell your last name?
Barham.
All right, and then I know when doing something like this, anxiety and all that can get in there, so just try to keep it a little slower and tell
Yes,
me what
ma'am.
it is you want to share. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much again. I did not prepare a statement because of the fact that I did not expect things to go this way today. The fact of the matter is that this man should not have even been out. He should not have even been free, because this is not the first time that you have abducted a woman, held her captive, and tortured her for days on end. This is not the second time that you've abducted a woman, held her captive, and tortured her. This is not the third time that you have abducted a woman, held her captive, and tortured her. This is actually the fourth time that you will be convicted of abducting a woman, holding her captive, and torturing her. You should never have been out on the streets in the first place in order to harm my daughter. And I pray to God, under these circumstances, that, Your Honor, you hear my daughter's story and know his story, because it's not when he will, it's not if he will offend again, it's when he will offend again. And when in 25 years, he will be still a strong man, and probably stronger, because they lift weights on those in those freaking jailhouses, and he will be a danger to society. He waited 2 months after his second conviction and serving 18 months in prison. He waited 2 months before he offended again. 2 months before he kidnapped another woman and tortured her. My daughter should never have been your victim. You poured gasoline on my child and threatened to burn her alive. You beat her over the head with a baseball bat. You beat her from head to toe for days. You punched her in her face so many times over the course of 4 days that she has paralysis on her left side of her face. She couldn't even open her eyes. She had blood dripping out of her ears. She had a brain bleed and was in ICU for 3 days. You did this to my daughter. You did this to my child. And you're not a man. That's not what a man does. A man protects women. You are evil. You're a villain. And you should never be allowed to see the light of day ever again, because you are a predator. And you have an MO, and you've proven it time and time and time and time again
This will be your 4th conviction for the exact same offense. Oh, I'll say it again. 4th time. 4th time. Your Honor, my daughter is never going to be the same. She can barely even, she can't retain any new information because of she has a traumatic brain injury. She cannot even retain like new information. She as far as working, she's not able to get a job, not only because of the physical, but because of the psychological damage that has been done to my child. She's going to suffer probably way longer than him, which is not fair. This wasn't a domestic violence sort of thing. This was not a back and forth. This was my daughter 100% of the time absolutely victimized and submissive to him, terrified for her life, as he promised that she was never going to get out of there. He promised her that she was going to die at his hands. He should be getting attempted murder charges with as many times as he strangled her and dared her to pass out because he was going to cut her throat if she did. He broke her arm and her finger just because she was trying to defend herself from a baseball bat to her head. Facial fractures. Yeah, he did. We got the medical records. Your Honor, all I ask is that you do what all the other courts and all the other judges before you did not do. Protect every single woman that he could get his hands on eventually. Your Honor, you have the power and you are within the law to put him away until he is no longer a danger to anyone, until he is feeble, until he is wetting his diapers. You don't scare me, William.
Ma'am, just stay focused on talking to me, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I apologize. The other judges before you barely gave him a slap on the wrist, and even 25 years at this point, in my opinion, would be a slap on the wrist, considering the fact that he has proven that he loves to do this. He has over 400 videotapes of my daughter being abused by him. He videotaped it because he's that sick. I don't know if he was going to sell her or sell the videos for some smut stuff online. I don't know, but I do know that anyone who takes 400 plus videos of my child getting assaulted violently, and threatened, her life threatened hundreds of times, strangled a dozen times at least. Anyone who has that in them to want to videotape that, there's something deeply, deeply wrong with that person. And that's the kind of person that has proven he cannot be allowed out in polite society, because that's just guaranteeing that someone else is going to have to go through what my daughter and countless, there's no telling how many girls he's done this to. My daughter just was strong enough to come today and be willing to testify, and that's the only reason why he pled guilty today, because he didn't want her to get on the stand and testify against him, because he knew that that would be damning. And I mean that. I'm not cursing.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say.